Hi, my name is Claire Welsh and my topic for Task 2 is the Hoverbike S3 2019. In this presentation, I will cover why the Hoverbike S3 is innovative, which marketing variable is the most relevant to the Hoverbike S3 2019, and will also provide an environmental analysis. In addition, I will also determine which stage of the new product development process the Hoverbike is in, as well as which stage it is in the product lifecycle. In terms of a new product, the definition of innovative is featuring new methods that are advanced and original. The Hoverbike S3 2019 is a flying motorbike created by a California-based startup known as HoverSurf. It is innovative because although other engineers and scientists have tried creating hoverbikes in the past, like Chris Malloy and Colin Furze, the only model that has been successfully launched and approved for use is the Hoverbike S3 2019. While Colin Furze is just a stuntman and engineer that likes to post videos of his creations on YouTube, Chris Malloy founded a limited company called Malloy Aeronautics and is apparently working with the United States Army to have it be used as a way of transportation for soldiers and equipment around the battlefield, according to NBC News. However, the problem with Malloy's hoverbike is that it is much bulkier and the propellers are much larger, making it harder to navigate and less safe than the Hoverbike S3 2019. While the hoverbike is available for purchase by civilians directly from HoverSurf themselves, its main purpose as of right now is to serve as an emergency first responder vehicle for the Dubai police, who are currently being trained to fly hoverbikes, according to CNN News. As you may have been able to see in the previous video, the Hoverbike S3 2019 is powered by 4 small propellers and is capable of going about 97 km per hour at a height of about 5 meters. While this obviously isn't any faster than a car, because of its flying abilities, the hoverbike will have easier access to injured people during times of emergency. HoverSurf signed a deal with the Dubai police in early 2017 for their Hoverbike Scorpion 3 model. However, this model was less safe and made out of metal, making it harder to navigate than the S3 2019. The S3 is made completely out of carbon fiber, which allows for durability and stiffness without being weighed down, according to the official HoverSurf website. The main reason that HoverSurf CEO and founder Alex Atamanov wanted to invent the Hoverbike S3 was to give people what they'd always dreamed of, which is the ability to fly, according to the mission statement on the HoverSurf website. With the hoverbike, riders would be able to avoid the normal traffic flow and infrastructure, theoretically allowing them to get where they need to go much faster. Based on the information from the textbook and what I've learned about the Hoverbike S3 2019, I'd say that the hoverbike falls into the psychographic market segment variable. The psychographic market segment aims to target consumers based on their socioeconomic status, along with their attitudes, lifestyles, beliefs, and personality. In my opinion, anybody who buys a hoverbike just wants it for the wow factor. While it's already impractical because it's literally a flying motorcycle, it is also $150,000 US, so it's important that it is marketed to not only those who are crazy and compulsive enough to use it, but also those that can afford it. Now I will provide an environmental analysis of the Hoverbike S3 2019 in terms of the macro environment. The macro environment is the surrounding environment outside of a company that may impact its opportunities or impose threats to it. The 6 major forces of the macro environment include demographic, economic, natural, technological, political, and cultural forces. Because of the highly advanced technology used to create the hoverbike, it is easy for me to conclude that it is being most impacted by technological forces in the macro environment. According to the textbook, the technological environment is the most dramatic force currently shaping our world. Unfortunately, technology is often used for evil purposes, such as hacking or creating nuclear missiles, so it's refreshing to see that technology can still be used by the government in a positive way, like using hoverbikes as emergency vehicles. The next thing I want to discuss is the hoverbike's progress in the new product development process. The new product development process consists of 8 major steps and is used for finding and growing new products. The first step in the process is idea generation, which is the initial brainstorming of new ideas. The second step is idea screening, where some ideas are eliminated. Then, the ideas that are left over turn into concepts and are developed and tested. After this, a marketing strategy is developed to determine the target market and share the value proposition, which is the value producers promise to deliver as consumers buy their product. After implementing a marketing strategy, a business analysis is created to determine the company's goals and objectives before launching the product. This is when the product is actually developed and then put into realistic market settings to determine whether or not it will be successful, which is known as the test marketing stage. If the product passes the test marketing stage, the product becomes commercialized, which is the process of releasing it to the public market. Based on the research I have done, I would classify the Hoverbike S3 2019 as being in the test marketing stage. The reason I think this is because although the product was launched about a year ago, it is only being currently used and tested by the Dubai police because they intend to use it as a first responding unit in the near future. Also, because the hoverbike is so expensive and we don't know much about how safe or practical it will be in the real world, common people are not currently inclined to buy it. Building off the topic of new product development, I want to talk about the Hoverbike S3 2019 in terms of the product lifecycle. The product lifecycle is defined as the course that a product's sales and profits take over its lifetime. This is important to marketers because although no product is everlasting, marketers want to make sure they are keeping consumers interested. The product lifecycle has 5 stages. The first of these stages is product development, which I previously discussed. The second stage is introduction, which is when sales are slow because the product has just been released. The third stage is growth, which occurs when sales rapidly speed up. The fourth step is maturity, which is when the public is no longer as fascinated and sales start to become more stable. And the last stage is decline, which is when sales start to decrease. Based on all the evidence I have provided throughout this presentation, I can conclude that the hoverbike is in the introduction stage. The Hoverbike S3 2019 is not yet used by the public and therefore has not made much profit. However, once it is available to the public and the price has hopefully decreased, it will enter the growth stage. And that concludes my presentation on the Hoverbike S3 2019. Thank you for watching.